She shared her location before vanishing forever. Part 1. The Perfect Life That Suddenly Fractured. On a warm Friday evening in the small town of Brookdale, 23-year-old Emily Carter sat at her favorite coffee shop, laughing with friends. She was vibrant, ambitious, and deeply loved by her family. A recent college graduate, Emily had just landed her dream job at a marketing firm in the city. To everyone around her, life seemed to be falling perfectly into place. But behind Emily's wide smile was a growing unease. For weeks, she had confided in her closest friend, Rachel, that she felt like someone was following her. Strange. Cars idling near her apartment, odd messages on her phone from blocked numbers, and the unsettling feeling that she was being watched. Rachel brushed it off as paranoia. But Emily's instincts told her something was wrong. That night, after finishing her cappuccino, Emily hugged her friends goodbye and walked toward her car parked along Main Street. She messaged Rachel quickly on her phone. "Heading home now. I'll share my location with you just in case." It wasn't unusual. Emily often shared her location when she felt nervous traveling late at night. But this time, those few taps on her phone would become the last sign of life anyone ever saw from her. "Tell us where you are watching us from." Rachel received the location ping. It showed Emily leaving town and heading toward her apartment on Elmwood Avenue. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until 15 minutes later when Emily's dot on the map suddenly stopped moving along an abandoned stretch of road just before the bridge out of town. Rachel texted her, "Everything okay?" No reply. She called, straight to voicemail. By morning, Emily's car would be found abandoned on that lonely stretch of road. The driver's side door ajar, her phone missing, and no trace of her anywhere. The town of Brookdale had no idea that one simple act, sharing her location, would unravel a chilling mystery that continues to haunt everyone who knew her. Watch out for Part 2. The missing boy whose case stunned the FBI. Part 2. The investigation. The discovery of Ethan's torn backpack changed everything. What had first seemed like a missing child case now pointed to a possible abduction, and the FBI officially joined the search. Their arrival marked a turning point, both in the scope of the investigation and in the fear-gripping Fairview. FBI agent Rebecca Mills, a seasoned investigator with years of experience in child abduction cases, took the lead. She immediately set up a command center in the town's community hall, turning the quiet building into a hub of activity. Maps were pinned to walls, phone lines buzzed with leads, and dozens of agents swarmed the streets. The FBI's first move was to re-interview witnesses. The crossing guard's account of the dark blue van became their top lead, but the description was vague. No license plate, no clear identifying features. They checked traffic cameras in surrounding areas, but in 1997, technology was limited. The grainy footage revealed several vans, none of which could be tied conclusively to Ethan. Then another disturbing clue emerged. A farmer on the outskirts of town reported seeing a van matching the description parked near his property late that morning. He thought nothing of it at the time, but hours later, he noticed deep tire tracks leading into the woods. When investigators searched the area, they found something chilling, a small sneaker, muddy and slightly torn. Laura instantly recognized it as Ethan's. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community. Vigils were held nightly, candles lighting up the town square as prayers for Ethan's safe return filled the air. But beneath the hope was dread. People locked their doors tighter, kept their children indoors, and whispered about monsters living among them. "Tell us where you are watching us from." Meanwhile, the FBI broadened its scope. They created a profile of the possible abductor, likely male, familiar with the town, and possibly someone who had been watching Ethan for weeks. Investigators scoured sex offender registries, parole records, and recent drifters in the area. They interviewed more than 200 people, but none stood out. Just as the case seemed to stall, a chilling phone call came in. At 2:37 a.m., the Carters' home phone rang. David answered, his voice trembling. On the other end was a man's distorted voice, low and mechanical. He said only one thing: "You'll never see Ethan again." And then the line went dead. The call was traced to a payphone 2 towns over, but by the time agents arrived, the caller was gone. No fingerprints, no DNA, nothing left behind. The FBI suspected it was the abductor taunting the family, but there was one more possibility: someone playing a cruel prank. Regardless, it deepened the sense of horror. Watch out for Part 3, The Missing Boy, whose case stunned the FBI. Part 3, The Shocking Truth and Aftermath. The grainy gas station footage electrified the nation. For the first time in months, there was proof. Ethan might still be alive. News outlets replayed the blurry clip endlessly, debating every detail: the boy's gait, the man's nervous glance at the camera, the way the child avoided eye contact. For the Carter family, it was both torture and relief. "That's my son." "I know it," Laura whispered through tears as she clutched the tape. David, his hands shaking, added, "If he's alive, we won't stop until we bring him home." The FBI launched a massive manhunt, distributing the footage nationwide. They cross-referenced the man's face against criminal databases but found no immediate match. Days later, a tip finally came in from a motel manager in Tennessee. He claimed the man in the footage had stayed there under a false name and had left just days before the FBI arrived. Agents scoured the room and uncovered a disturbing scene. Taped to the mirror were newspaper clippings of missing children, some dating back years. In a drawer, they found sketches of young boys, crude drawings that sent shivers down investigators' spines. But most chilling was a torn piece of paper with Ethan's school photo taped to it. It was confirmation. They were hunting a predator. The FBI now believed they were dealing with a serial offender who had been abducting children for years. The man seemed to stay just one step ahead, slipping through states like a shadow. Finally, in the spring of 1998, nearly a year after Ethan's disappearance, authorities got their break. A long-haul trucker in Oklahoma spotted a man and boy matching the description at a rest stop. The trucker, who had seen Ethan's story on America's Most Wanted, quietly called the police and kept watch from his cab. Within 30 minutes, FBI agents surrounded the area. They moved cautiously, fearing the abductor might harm the boy if cornered. The man, later identified as Gerald Whitaker, a 42-year-old drifter with a history of violence, was apprehended without incident. And then came the moment no one thought possible. Ethan was found alive. He was thin, pale, and withdrawn, but unmistakably the same bright-eyed boy who had vanished nearly a year before. When agents gently told him, "You're safe now," Ethan burst into tears. The first words he spoke were, "I want to go home." The reunion with his parents was broadcast nationwide. Laura fell to her knees, clutching her son and sobbing uncontrollably. David, choking on tears, whispered, "We thought we lost you forever." The entire town of Fairview gathered for a candlelight celebration, this time filled with joy instead of sorrow.